Greetings all, Shane Bruce, rest of my daisy with a revolutionary breakthrough in daisy pneumatic gun instruction. Yep, what we've done is taken a little used, hardly ever used 105B, and we have sectioned this bad boy so that you, the viewer, can see the internal workings of the daisy lever action BB gun. As you can see from the top of the roll mark here, this is a current production 105B. Came equipped with a plastic lever and a plastic trigger. It's had many colors in its life, and it currently is just brushed steel because I took the pink paint off. I didn't really care for that, but you can still see it down near the muzzle, or it infiltrated. But what we've done with this gun, this is in response to the numerous questions I get on the spring block. Now, in a 105B or a 102 or a 103, the spring block will also serve as a rear sight. But its main job in life is to provide a bearing surface for the main spring. So, with it on the bench here, we're going to cycle it one time so you can see how that works. Here's the lever. If you'll notice down here in this section, right down there, see how the lever comes up? We're moving the lever and the lever's coming up and it's grabbing this back plate. So when you cock the gun, if it's set up as a conventional. All right, back to what we're doing. You can see where the lever begins to engage the back of the plunger assembly. So when you're stroking the weapon, the lever pushes the plunger assembly all the way to the rear until it engages the sear on the trigger. Then the lever goes out of the way. Now when you're ready to pull the trigger, you release the sear here, and the plunger, if you'll observe up in here, drives the piston forward and fires the gun. So that's the basic system. That's how it works. And it's all kind of working because of the spring block. And the spring block goes through a slot in the top of the receiver here and wraps under a pin there. Now we're going to take this gun over to the bench and take it apart and put it back together again. All right, so now that we've demonstrated how the daisy works, what we're going to do is show you how you take care of that spring stop. How do you get it out of there? Well, first thing you got to do is pull all the stuff that's in your way out of your way. That includes the buttstock. Poof, away it goes. Got to pull the lever. Poof, away it goes. I should point out that this is the NASCAR version of a daisy because there's no bolts on the backside. So that's why we're doing things pretty quickly. Pull the bolt, oh, drop it on the floor, not good. Disengage the trigger. On these guns, you have to split the back. Now, what we can do is, utilizing our mainspring compressor, the mighty mainspring compressor, what we're going to do is we're going to compress this mainspring so we can get that piece out. So, because it's a cutaway, there's no mystery. You can see it sliding in between the back of the plunger assembly. See if you can pull down here and catch it where we first start getting bite on the spring. Now, once we got purchase on the spring, we just compress the mainspring. See that? The mainspring's compressed. It's not compressed. It's compressed. It's not compressed. It's compressed, and we're going to take the spring block out. Then you pull the plunger assembly out, diddle about with whatever you're going to do, finish that up, and when you get ready to put it back in, you slide the plunger assembly forward with your special tools. Poof. Now, once again, we take the mighty mainspring compressor. And we go do that again. Slide up, grab the mainspring. Oh, wait a minute, let's make sure we have our spring block readily at hand. Compress the mainspring. Boom, boom, boom. Push it a good long ways past because the spring block, if you'll notice, is an odd geometry. So it's got to go in, then it's got to go forward, and then it can sit on this pin. This pin is where it bears. And then back off the mainspring. And it's reinstalled. So now we're going to stick it all back together real quick to prove to you, the viewer, that this does in fact work. And that is the whole story with a cutaway illustration on how the mainspring and mainspring block work to power your daisy. Let's see here. We got to split this a little bit to get it in. Go. Come on here, puppy. I can't really see what I'm doing here, but I'm hung up someplace. Probably on that safety. Yeah, that's where it's supposed to go. Let's try it like this. We got it wiggled into place. We've got the front of the trigger group on its shelf. We've got this pushed to the rear. Now if we can just line up our hole, there we go. We should be good. And there's that. So bolt that in. That's fighting with me a little bit. There we go. Roll that down, get it snug so it stays put. That feels good. Take your buttstock, reinstall it. If we can find the bolt we dropped, there it is. And then we'll see if she'll cycle, which I'm sure she will. And then we go back through the process one more time. We cycle the gun, it cocks, and it shoots. So that's the mystery of the mainspring and the spring block and how they operate in a cutaway version of a Daisy 105B. That's all we've got for you tonight, kids. This is Shane Bruce, Rest on My Daisy, signing off.